Dear citizens of this world, it's a bleeding democracy, a mine opportunity. We civilize this world with no circumstances that comply to our world. We leaving our identity because nobody is acting. Nobody does one step in front. They only consume their own life. May I circumstance my own home country as an example of how identity loss will lose in point examination of promenage. We losing grip on this society because we eating all oclitonium acid. We know how to eat them with love. But these pineapples comply to us with detonia, with distance to each other, with acting. Please, I'm still in my education. And this world is in a bleeding end of nature. In nature who complies that we must go die because our cyanide in our atmosphere is too high. Politics, justice, police officers don't know how to act anymore because this society don't want to act. They only want to consume their own life with their own abilities. If you ask them something, they don't want to compute with it. They don't want to suffocate with this emotion. Citizens of this planet, do you understand what this is meaning? You grow up with your television and radio, and we inform you as government. Did you realize that sometimes there are no moments of one video collection of footage on your television? Or that the radio is known to tell you the real story because you don't understand what we are saying to you? Are you really a Nazi bicycle in this world? Do you know that this planet is bleeding? That this planet is bleeding on justice, on politics, on police? We are in a world where we must consume pornography. We must stay together and work with each other. We're polluting ourselves with all chemicals in this world to rule over and to see all those nasty synapses disconnecting with each other because our brain don't want to function anymore in dystonia. Brains getting autistic. Nobody wants to help anymore, to act and do a step forward in this nation to comply. You God's sake, citizens, you must act. Yeah, you go to your work and deserve your money to feed your children, to give your people around you a round of applause because they don't listen to you. But do you know what is going on? I live in a hidden world as a seal, and I give a Mayday, Mayday, Mayday in Compal Reconstricta to comply to this. Do you understand what this means? All nations of this world. Singularity is in my name. Showdown is in my name. South Carolina, you are the sweetest girl in sales operations. You determined that there was one kind of pornography you don't like about the SEALs because they're going too hard on people. Now you're sitting in a down chair with children and believe that children are the only opportunity in your world? Miss, do you understand that this is a sacrifice of your future, of your children? Sils Montana, you are now a psychiatric person in the psychiatric world. You lose your life in your occupation, but you did hard work for this society. You give yourself for your nation and lose everything what you got. Sils Teutonia, you died in your civil war because bullets were your friend. They attempt one on your brain and you died. Police officer Jonathan Tenedor of Amsterdam, he was bleeding in himself and he was killed by one of a police officer who don't apply of good behavior in his world. He's going to die because he acting on well-deserving policy of this nation. Do you attempt this? I have no recommending in this world that I can say that we believe in our pornography and that we can consume this. Do want we this dying planet with no any sign of life? Or do we want to survive in this fittest world where we can get strength and we can fight for our lives and make deserve that we get a life with opportunity and with chances that we can live underground in ground zero? That we molest, raped, hit, torture people, even me, to make this possible in jurisprudential. Because there was no courtmanship on high, opportune, in low density. If you are high, you must go low to act on low. This is what the consuming part is of this world. We have much troubles and we need you, government, but you can't act without your people, your citizens, because they don't act. Police officers don't want to stop you when you go to the police and said, well, I'm raped, I'm a young girl, I'm 17 and a man has raped me. Yeah, I know that. Police officer cry at her home. This is what Theo van Heck van Waalwijk, a police officer, said against his wife. One young child, 16, came to me and said, well, I'm raped 3 times by one boy. Was that my future? And she cried. Sorry, I can help you. I can put this declaration on a police schedule. She walked at her home and cried and committed suicide. That was her story of her life. Why? Her identity was loose false. She had no promise on her passport or her identity because she couldn't accept this. She couldn't act because she was young. She was not allowed in this world. If you have no promise on your passport, you are not a deserving nation compatibility. Are we acting on psychosis? No, we are acting on duty. Do you have your call of duty? Do you know that this world is your world and that this your nation is your nation? Do you ever recommend that you have one primacy that I fuck this world because I am the only boy in this manhood and girlhood who acting? Have you ever promised this in this world? People, we must work together. We must act as a team because we are on loose identity. This was Straightdown with Singularity Showdown. People, we must stay together and we must arrest ourselves together to make diplomacy. Television and radio can inform you. It's a hidden showdown, so we are always on hidden. It's always communication with bioplex, neurosemantic communication systems, and all radio in conference. You must comply to this. If you don't, your future of your children or the future of yourself is on a hidden sky and a democracy of loose identity and losing life in this nature. Do you ever seen signs of this? Yeah. On the 28th of 2016 I saw bees and wasps in my household. I looked through the window and I saw a bee was flying on the 28th of February. It was winter. Salt phosphate is acting on our planet if it's an arousal of sexual behavior. But these animals live in the winter, where they must be in the spring and in the summer. Our nature is global in atmosphere and compute and compiles the cyanide in atmosphere in orange and yellow. This is a computing element of this world where I can say we are going to die in 4 decades from now on. Do you give a fuck? Well, your children do. We have built this empire, this whole empire of this planet, where we have built all houses, all bridges, all televisions, all what you're doing on company level. You all are big in America, you're all big in China, Netherlands. You did your great work with effort, with employment, with a household full of money. But what is it worth now? If you look around and you see that people don't give anybody a fuck about you. We are on a stage that evolution has changed ourselves. Is it your opinion that is good or wrong? Well, I don't give a damn fuck if we survive. And that's what we want to do, survive. Civilization, we are an ending conclusion. Give our love to each other and work with each other and listen to the governments if they have one opportunity of acting. Act. Do something. Let's see that you live. Give evidence that you live, but you don't living because your identity is losing track. Now, it's confining. This is the end of this message.